Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Might need to cut it short, or at the hour mark. Kind of get back to my other stuff today. So.
Okay. Well, thanks for being flexible.
Yeah. I'm glad we can make it work.
Okay. Good. Yeah, so let's see. I've been doing some solo sessions with myself lately. Actually, right after that last session, I was doing it quite regularly, and then I kind of trailed off. But yeah, that last session was really good, and then I listened to the recording of that first session, and I was surprised. At first I listened to it, and I don't know how other people feel, but it's just I don't want to listen to that right now. But I kind of sat there and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, I ended up listening to the whole thing, and I really noticed some stuff, just to kind of revisit that really. And I don't know if you remember that first session. It was it kind of made contact with this feral kid.
Yeah.
And so trying to just remember, I don't have my notes in front of me. Yeah, there was something there about maybe, what was it? I'll keep talking. Maybe it'll come back.
Or we can just focus on whatever feels up for you the most right now.
Okay. Okay. Then there was that last session. It was more about this. I was talking about this kind of dream that got kind of shuffled aside or not realized, and there was some parts around that, and there was I don't know if I can't remember if kind of depressed part came up in that, but just for me, how I organize it in my mind, it seems like it's in the same area as that that dreamer part, and but what was powerful about that session was that I noticed, I know what it was now. Okay. It was like, there was this really kind of, it was like an exile, a really we didn't know what to do there or something. And then suddenly I got this picture, like I got this picture of myself, like when I was 13, when I used to ref soccer games, And then when I saw that picture, and then something just occurred to me, I was like, and I don't know, I think it was just from listening to the IFS sessions and stuff, and that you could do these certain things. I was like, well, I think I'm going to just take him and go back to that soccer field, I'm just, I'm going to take this part. And so we did a lot of stuff there. And I think what it ended with was that I was going to, kick the ball around with them and stuff like that. That's what he
requested. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I did that, in some sessions, and I had it was kind of a interesting thing. Like I didn't realize I think what happened was he introduced me to this other part of me in that era, so I'm like, as a player, I was a goalie, and that was like one of my main positions. And so I see, I was kicking the ball with them, and then we went all the way to this other side of the field, and that other part of me was in the net, so, and so what I sensed though was that there was a little bit, maybe it's not fully there, but there was it was kind of a spontaneous unburdening.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you understand that?
Yeah. Well, I understand.
Okay.
I understand the whole process to be a process of unburdening.
Okay.
But yeah, there are also, big shifts that happen. And, a lot of times we look at this work and we see this big road ahead of us and all this heavy grief that we have to go through. And so often it's not like that. It's just an act of kicking the ball around and spending some time together that can really do a lot for parts.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, so when I, the other thing I related to you in the session was that, this part of me that is, so it's almost like I went back to this place where, I had agency and sense of authority and, adept and, capable and, happy actually, I mean, I don't remember loving, reffing games, but because it was just, there was an element there that, the league kind of threw us in, through the guys who were a little bit older. They just kind of threw us in there. So I used to get yelled at a lot by my parents for not doing stuff right. And, and I hated that. And then I remember this one time I was telling this friend of mine, and he was like, I gave a red card to a coach the other day. He's like, what was I supposed to do? I was like, wait a minute. It's like, you did what? And, and so the next time I was in a game, and that's the field I went to. The next time I was at this game, this is the field I always go back to. It was that game when, I sucked. I was not I could my time. It wasn't my calls and stuff. It was my timekeeping. My watch, I couldn't get it to function properly. So I just acted like I knew what was going on. And so this coach and people were like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I can't imagine it, because me as an adult, how could you like berate like a kid, you know?
Yeah.
And I even looked, you know, I even looked younger than I was. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, hope you people had a good time, you know, because so I showed the coach, I showed him a yellow. I said, you can't talk to me that way, sir. And I showed him a yellow. And he kept going, and I showed him a red. And then I mean, I can't believe I did that. You know, it's like I felt like that was just my job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like you know, it was like that was where I was at, and it wasn't my ego trip. You know, it was like yeah, you really you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to talk to the referee that way, and I'm the referee, so blah blah blah. So anyway, yeah, so I felt like, you know, and it's not that I forgot that, because I've always remembered that, you know.
Yeah.
But to connect this part that was just, you know, I mean, maybe when I listen back to that one, it'll be, you know, but what I remember now is just this really dark place, you know, not really having any say about anything. And then I was just see this picture of myself as in the referee days, soccer days. And I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm taking you and I'm putting you there. And it was, you know, that's enough of this, you know, this suffering for now, at least. And, you know, or maybe I don't know what it was. It was like there was a connection. I saw, like, did he show me the picture and ask to be taken there, or did I, you know, probably some of both.
I believe I'm trying to remember, because I listened to the call much more recently, and I think that I feel like it was more your idea, and I think I also was encouraging of that. It sounded at the time, from what I'm recalling, like a good move. But
I remember I had the idea, and you were like really like, yeah, do that, you know, like you were like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's
what I'm recalling. I could have been wrong. And I don't know if that was coming from self, if the part was wanted that or not, and we could find out.
I guess it doesn't matter entirely, you know. It's not like, I guess there's just this, you know, the part maybe that wants to understand how everything happens, you know, and
how the IFS process happens.
I mean, how things that are not, you know, explicitly clear, you know.
That's great.
You know, so
and it is entirely possible. I experienced this with another caller, where, you know, they had an idea of where this exile should go, and they're making these decisions kind of without the exile's input, and that backfired. That didn't work out for them. So I don't want to create like an expectation, but that's what happened that time for sure. And then, you know, so like recently, like when I listened to the call from the first call now, then I kind of became reacquainted with this, you know, this kind of 7-year-old kid, this feral kind of kid. And there was like two of them there. There was the one kid, you know, at first it was like this avoidant part. That's right. The avoidant part. And can I just ask you a question about, before we switch? Can you talk about the 7-year-old? With that 13-year-old, what I do know that he was requesting was to kick the ball around, and you said you did that, and in doing that, he showed you more right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to get really clear on that there were requests that he made. You did follow up on those, and it sounds like that was a positive experience and deepened your relationship. Okay. That's all I wanted to ask about, was just kind of
yeah, and I did some other stuff too. Yeah, like, you know, just to kind of help my visualization, I went you know, I just went on Google Images and grabbed a couple of images of this it looks a little bit different now, but some of it's kind of the same. You know, this area, it's a whole like complex of like fields, you know, where where I grew up. So I just kind of, and I put one of those on my phone on the on the lock screen, so I would see it. And
wow, you're doing all the homework. That's really great to hear. How did that work for you, seeing that on your phone?
I think that was good. You know, it was I have fond memories of that era, and I don't know how really deep I've tried to go deeper in that area. I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of everything's settled down there. You know, everything's like really. I mean, it was never, that area was never really in turmoil, you know, or anything. But it's just
you did.
It's
mention,
not like what
you did mention a dark place and a child having no say about anything.
Oh yeah.
So we could also, I mean, that could be another trailhead, another thing to ask about.
What was that? Where was that though?
Like, just 2 minutes ago, right before you started talking about the 7-year-old, you were describing the red card story, and then you had mentioned being in a dark place and not having any say about anything.
Yeah, because I meant that I took that and put it in the soccer field.
I took
that
the part that felt like it was in a dark place.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that means, you know. Okay, but let me jump ahead to this thing, because I'm gonna tie this together. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I revisited that call. I listened to that, and I you know, I kind of relived that thing again. And then I've been thinking about this avoidant part, and I feel like the power of the avoidant part is a little more, it's like positive, you know, it's like it's like keeping me this is what I feel in the last maybe few days, you know. It's like you know, these kind of thoughts that I get into, these kind of thought patterns that I would get into that are kind of like just where I could go down this way of thinking and just start to get depressed, you know. Not super like I don't get what is it, like dysfunctionally depressed anymore. You know, and I don't you know, but I've felt lately that I've felt like I don't want to be depressed anymore. Like I don't want to do that, you know. Like and I like I kind of like recognize, you know, that's, you know, there's a part that does that. And so I don't know if this is exactly true, but it seems like it. It's like, you know, this avoidant part is like, don't touch that, you know, like it's like, you know, these kind of this kind of thing would come up, you know, and it's not that I'm like trying to fend off thoughts or anything. I just don't think twice about them, you know?
Right. You're not ruminating on them.
I'm not ruminating, and I'm not defending myself from bad, quote unquote, bad thoughts, or, you know, thoughts that are going to take me down. But, you know, I'm just not, you know, it's like what I get a sense of is like, don't mess with that. You know,
Yeah.
you don't want that. You don't want to go there. So, so like I'm more aware of, you know, I'm more clear about what I don't want, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm really, you know, I'm really not I'm really not sure what I do want, you know. I'm really kind of like you know, like you know, like I know some of what I know how I would want anything to kind of be, you know, like you know, I want to contribute like positively, you know, to people. I want to like, you know, love people more, be more compassionate, and be more selfless, or selfish in a good way, you know. You know, but you know, and you know, like I, you know, I've been kind of trying some things, and it's been nice that I'm trusting how I feel and listening to myself. And even though something sounds good, you know, like I'm careful about committing myself, you know, like my money or my time and my energy. So, but you know, you know, like I'm like, money is okay. So it's not like I have to, like, I really need to up my ambition in order to get, you know, get
right.
some finances together, you know, more. You know, like I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then also like I have time on my hands, and I don't feel like you know, I want to, you know, and I know.
So the question is that you're saying you don't know what you want. You have these values, which all sound like they come from self to me, to love people, to contribute, to be more compassionate. And but you're not sure about a specific direction or a specific project that would
like I'm not, like, I know I still have an ego, and I still, you know, there's some professional things I'd still like to do, but in a different way. And maybe it's not like, I know that, you know, I mean, how, you know, sometimes it's you know, I think we talked before about, like, is it, you know, how I frame the project I'm doing here, you know, like in terms of, is it healing, or is it,
right,
or is it, you know, is it a project, you know, I mean, healing is a project too, but, you know, how am I, what's, you know, if I'm real with myself, like, what do I, you know, I felt some healing, you know, I have felt some healing. It's like, is that enough? Like, do I got enough bandwidth now to like do something else?
Good question.
And how, you know, how should I put, you know, if I, you know, and then there's like some hesitation, because it's like, okay, because if I put my foot on the gas on something, you know, it's like I if I think about that, if I think about, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and then I start to think, or I start to feel hesitation. Okay, so what's the hesitation? Is it that it's not time yet, or you don't want to do that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have my own theories on how I might, answer that question, or we can just start looking for the parts that are asking those questions.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So I'm looking back at some of the things you said, and going back kind of before this, what do I want question, you had this, you were talking about the 7-year-old and the don't touch that when thinking about anything kind of depressing. So there's those parts that there might be more to explore there around, like, what does it mean to not go there? Is it, like you said, you're seeing that I'm not ruminating, that's a good thing, but is there some avoidance of not going to a part that could use your help and use some healing? So there's that.
I think, okay.
And then as far as, how do I know if I'm hitting the gas, or if I have enough to hit the gas, if the hesitation is something I should listen to, or what? I think that ultimately, being self-led means that those decisions will be much more clear. And when there are hesitations, when there are parts saying, no, don't do that, then you listen to them. And that's where you get the answer, is by having a deeper relationship with them. You can respond to them more appropriately, and really understand why they're saying that, and how much to kind of weigh that compared to the 100 other parts that have to say what they have to say about it.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of the two broad areas that I was hearing you discuss, are the 7-year-old and the don't touch that depression stuff, and the hit the gas, do I have enough questions.
Okay, well, here's what comes up to me right now, is that, so I think that the avoidant part tells me, don't touch that. In the moment when it's not time to touch that.
Right.
It keeps me away from that when I'm in my daily life, I'm working with people, I'm around others. It just doesn't belong there,
Right.
And so I'm wondering, okay, so when is the time? I think I'm hearing that right. And if that's what it is, then that sounds healthy.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sounds like a healthy thing. So,
and if that's still an open question of when is the time, that could be something to explore.
Yeah, and like the other day, I went. How about this? What if I just tried to connect with that part in the hospital again? It's like, that's one way to do it. Or if I could talk to the avoidant part and tell him that I'm going to do that.
Is that when the depression stuff comes up, does that often feel like it's around that part in the hospital? And is that often what the 7-year-old is, or the avoidant part is saying, not now?
Well, the depressive part is, that's, those feelings, they just seem the same, They just kind of the sense of it's going in that direction. It's not the height of it. I mean, like that in the hospital, like that was like the height of it, and there's kind of parts associated with that, which I've discovered, there's other parts, and I mean, I could talk about that, but.
So in the past, when you've mentioned this part, it's felt like really heavy, really vulnerable, maybe it could be overwhelming. So, I think it's a great thing to make a goal to get to know that part and to work there. And we should look for protectors around that. We should ask for parts that don't want to go there. So maybe you can do that now. Just what comes up for you when you think about going there? What are you hearing in response about the idea of going to that part, the depressed one in the hospital?
Okay. Yeah, it's just a sense of like, don't do that. You're doing fine now, but it's also it's just like an anxious kind of feeling,
Yeah. What else do you notice about it?
Yeah, it's got kind of a disowning quality, like that's not you. It doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah. Okay. And how are you feeling towards the part that's saying that, the part that's saying that's not you?
I mean, I can, it's like that's in a way I can not sympathize, but admire that kind of, I don't know. It's just a kind of a powerful statement. It's like very, very confident and, a little, I don't get that that's exactly the truth of what he's saying.
Yeah. Would you like to learn more about the truth of what he's saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Let him know that.
Yeah.
Let him know we're not going to push past him, that we'd like to learn about his concerns. And just ask what else he'd like you to know.
Yeah. He's just trying to keep some part of the system from ruminating on this, because if he doesn't do that, then, yeah, it's the system is just gets so tuned into that, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if there's
something
more.
Yeah. You can ask what he's concerned about, what the fear is about letting you go to that part.
I mean, it was just, it was just such a scary time. I don't know, maybe I'm blended with that part right now. I'm more or less, I don't know if I went past him or if I.
Blended with.
I'm just remembering times there, and some of the feelings
right. Yeah, that's a good catch. It does sound like, well, then again, maybe we ask this part what it's concerned about, and maybe it's showing you those concerns. It's saying, well, here's those scary images and memories. But yeah, if it feels like a blendedness, you can ask that to step back. It sounds to me like this part is trying to protect you from going into that place.
Yeah.
Ruminating or worse, going into these scary times, memories.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where everything on the outside was like kind of stable, but internally, it was like minute to minute kind of thing. It's just really, 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 and so.
Yeah, so again, just making sure that we're not rushing past this protector that says, hold on, don't go there.
Well, I'd like to know what this part that wants to rush past and go there is all about.
Excellent.
Because this part that kind of like maybe took on some of this as an identity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the way to characterize it, but
yeah, well, the part that took on its identity might be the part itself, the one in the hospital.
Yeah,
I don't know. It could be wrong. But yeah,
who wants to rush past and get this healing over with already?
Right. Yeah. Ask that to the system. See if you can find that feeling in your body and learn more about it.
Yeah, there's just this part is like hypersensitive about things are just not quite right, and looking for the answer. Just always looking around for really why it's not quite right.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Great. Just let it know that.
Okay.
You could ask it how old it thinks that you are.
I'm kind of fixing on this image in basement where I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah, like probably like my first IFS session. I don't know if it's that part yet, but I see the kind of the same scenario. And I just feel kind of tense in my shoulders.
Okay.
I'm just not real relaxed. And
so I just want to let you know that I'm lost. I'm not sure what part we're talking to or what's blending with who. So I'm may have trouble, asking the right questions. So if any of it feels unsafe, ask parts to step back.
Okay. Okay, where did we start?
We started with a part that was saying don't go to the depression, depressing part. Then you maybe were starting to blend with that, or maybe it was, or maybe you were just seeing more about it. And then you were saying, maybe there is a part that wants to rush past this, which to me was still just a hypothesis. I don't know. Maybe you're blending with this depressed part, or maybe there's a part saying, yes, let's go there. Then we talked about meeting the part that wants to rush past it. You said it has this feeling that things aren't quite right, always looking for an answer, and then visions of a basement, and that's where I got lost.
Okay. All right, you got a good memory. Okay. So let me go back to this part that wanted to rush past.
Great. I had asked you how old it thinks you are.
I don't know. I see. I didn't know about that, but I start to. I just get a sense of always being behind. Like a part associated with that in terms of always feeling like I'm behind the others, and I need to catch up. So I'm guessing that's what that's about.
Yeah, sounds similar or overlapping at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's it afraid would happen if it doesn't get your attention in that way?
Yeah, it's like I'll be left behind. I'll be left behind if I don't catch up. You need to get this done and get on with things. It's
or else what?
Oh, just the others are just they're gone. They're just the whole. I don't know who, but right now, but they've just left me behind. They just left me in the dust, or they left me behind, or I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm behind. I'm not with the group.
Yeah. Okay. So you can let it know that you see that.
Yeah.
How painful, scary that might be.
Yeah.
And thank it for wanting to protect you from that.
Yeah.
Does this part notice you? Does it see you? Or how does it notice you?
I don't think, I'm not sure. I'm just kind of viewing. So yeah, I'm like 100 feet away. I'm on the other side of the fence of the school in this little area, and he's way up on the top of that hill and kind of running, trying to run. It's like there's just this scene of him running, down the blacktop.
Okay.
And then I see another kind of little scene of the concern of, hearing about the things my brother's learning in school, who's ahead of me, and then concern that, he's not going to be able to learn those things,
Yeah.
Because, he just hears the ideas and doesn't seem like anything. It sounds so foreign. He's got no context for it, and
right.
just is judging it as something he won't be able to learn.
So a part that has a belief that it won't be able to learn, a part that feels judged.
Yeah. Just afraid of being left behind in various ways, maybe like athletically or emotionally or intellectually. The place where he's running on the thing is like where they used to time the 50-yard dash. So I don't know if he's I just
is there a way? Would it feel right? And is there a way for you to get his attention, either to join him there, call to him?
Yeah. Let me go into the yard there.
Just let him know that you'd like to be here with him and understand him better.
Okay, yeah, I'm much closer to him now. Yeah, he just has a lot of concerns about various things. Yeah.
And again, does he notice you? Does he have an awareness or an appreciation of you there?
I think he's starting to. I'm trying to, just try to direct more energy there. Yeah, I just feel the concerns. I feel the ways he has to prove himself. His anger is he's not as angry as the other one, but I'm trying not to go into memories that I have about that time. So
right, yeah, it sounds like you're seeing what he's dealing with. You can just let him know that you're seeing that.
Yeah.
That you'd like to know more, that you'd like to help out. And that if he'll slow down and notice you and communicate more directly with you, you'll be able to help more.
School is not a real, like this outside part of school is a real good part, but inside the classroom is not a nice place for him all the time, even though he's a decent student. He's definitely not at the bottom of the class.
Has he come to notice you more yet? It's okay if he doesn't. I'm just trying to get a lay of the land here.
Yeah. Not sure. I'm not sure. It's he's turned towards me.
Okay.
I feel it. I feel that he's there.
Yeah, maybe you can introduce yourself of your present age, of your connection to him.
Not sure he really gets it yet.
Yeah, and it that could take a long time to establish.
Right.
I want to make sure that we're not jumping past protectors again, because it started out, talking about this part that wanted to go and get the work done with exiles, with depressed parts, and now we're hearing from a part that does sound like a child, that does sound like it's also carrying what I would consider exile energy.
Yeah.
So I'm also in that state of, should we slow down or hit the gas or what? So
yeah, I think it's a slow down time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can visit this part during this week.
Okay. Well, stepping back a little, if it's okay, we do have at least two protectors that we're concerned about you going to the depressed in the hospital part. One is saying don't go there. The other is saying go faster. Right? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Which would make sense for protectors to have a dynamic like that, a polarization.
Okay.
Yeah. And it would also, as you get to know those protectors, it's likely that they do have the same kind of concerns. You might, like, one is worried about being left behind, and the other is worried about getting into ruminating. And to me, those both sound like being stuck.
Yeah.
Being kind of not progressing, not making movement.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. Yes. That does make sense.
So you could check that out with them, and you could just continue exploring with them what it is they need from you, and what they need from you to trust you more, to contact an exile. It's why I was asking how old the part thinks you are, is just, that being an important part of the process sometimes to show them who you are, because you have a really great, clear lens into seeing so many parts. You're able to see them and see a lot about them, and that's huge. That's like such a valuable part of the process.
Okay.
We need to make sure that they're also seeing you,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a blessing and a curse that what you have there of that ability to really tap into what's going on with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, you know, like, cause I do feel like some of them pull me around sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Sure.
You know,
Yeah, that's their
so
job.
I gotta, yeah. But I mean, keeping a sense of center, you know, it's
Mm-hmm.
challenging.
Yeah.
But okay, so I will look into this, like the polarized parts, and you know, I'm still gaining a better appreciation for the, I guess, how do I say, like the beauty of the protectors, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know,
Right.
and I don't know if where I acquired this or if I'm blending with the part that wants to rush forward, but it's just this sense of me doing what I think I should do and these protect, you know, in an intellectual way or something, and not really listening to the sense of don't do this, don't do that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you're on the right path to me. I mean, to appreciate the beauty of the protectors, that's such an important step, and it's always a challenge because, you know, people hear about this work, they hear about, oh, I can go to these hurt parts inside of me and have these wonderful experiences and cry it out, and then we're going to be happy. And it's like, well, wait, there's all these thorny, slippery protectors in the way, and for a lot of people, that's not fun. You know, they don't see that as, you know, a part of the journey that they're willing to take, or
as a really important part of the,
right. They just want to get past them. Right.
Yeah.
And it's their parts. It's their parts that just want to get past them. And so it's a essential step is finding the beauty in the protectors. And you do that by getting to know them, by not rushing past them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you will see that, and you are seeing it, that real appreciation for them.
Right. Okay. All right.
Okay. Was this helpful at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's helpful to me. I'm still learning, you know, everyone I work with, I need to learn how their system is organized and, you know, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's good for me.
It's always something new, you know, it's, and I am learning about myself. So. Okay. Well, thank you so much. And look forward to next week.
Me too.
I think I'm on the schedule next week.
Awesome. Okay. I'll send you another link and you can make another booking on top of that.
Okay. Awesome, James.
Cool. Okay.
All right.
Talk soon.
Thanks again.
Bye. Yep. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows, that might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.